Hello, my name is Jacob Jensen, and this presentation reflects my experience managing the simulated coffee shop in the Biz Cafe simulation. So the overall goal of this simulation was to run a profitable business while balancing things like operating, marketing, staffing, and customer satisfaction. Each week, I had to make decisions that directly affected revenue, cost, employee performance, and customer experience. This simulation helped me understand how every decision in a business is connected and how even small changes can make a big impact over time. My leadership style throughout this simulation really changed as I gained more experience throughout the 12-week program. Uh, at the beginning, I was more of a reactive leadership style. I would change things like prices, staffing, or advertising based on what happened from the week before without always looking at the bigger picture. Later, I switched over to a more data-driven, focused, or a more effective leadership style. Instead of just looking at the total sales, I started paying more attention to key performance metrics like revenue per employee, capacity utilization, and cash flows. For example, I realized that even when total revenue stayed steady, my profit could drop if I had too many employees. I also noticed that if the capacity utilization was already high, adding more advertisement really didn't do much other than just increased costs. So I started making decisions based on what the numbers were actually telling me, not just short-term changes to get better results for the next week. This helped me focus more on consistency, efficiency, and overall helped me really morph my leadership style into something that was more effective. A major turning point throughout the simulation was when I realized that adding more staff and increasing advertisement actually wasn't improving my results and it wasn't making the company profitable. However, I at first thought that would make the overall customer satisfaction and make sales better. Again, at first, I assumed that more employees and more promotion would automatically lead to higher sales and better customer satisfaction, but over time, I noticed that my costs were increasing faster than my revenue could increase. For example, when I added more staff, my overall sales didn't really change, but my efficiency dropped and my profit per employee drastically went down. At the same time, advertising wasn't bringing in more customers or clientele because the cafe was already at full capacity every single week, every single day throughout the week. The capacity utilization is something I really struggle with because it was at full capacity, had me changing things like the price of my products, see if I could maintain that capacity while increasing the profit for my business. Again, after looking at the numbers more closely, I decided to cut back on extra staffing and stop spending on advertising that really wasn't working. This helped me improve efficiency and made my profits more stable over time. That's really when my mindset changed from trying to grow as much as possible to focusing on running a business that is more efficient, effective, and overall more sustainable. So throughout this simulation, I had to balance many trade-offs between things such as profit, employees, and customer experience. One of the biggest trade-offs I dealt with was staffing. Adding more employees really helped improve service and reduce wait times, but it also increased labor costs and lower overall profit. On the other hand, having fewer employees improved profitability, but it sometimes made things more stressful during the busy periods, during the work weeks, and really hurt the overall customer experience. Another trade-off was pricing. Raising prices helped increase revenue and profit margins, but it sometimes led to lower customer satisfaction and really gave more complaints week by week from customers that came. I also had to think about when to invest in improvements like equipment upgrades versus keeping cash on hand. Each week you were given a special decision, and it would be things such as, oh, should I buy this new brewer device, or should I increase rent, or should I increase the size of my restaurant? And these were all things I had to really think about, whether I wanted to put money into these special decisions and lower profit in that moment, but potentially have a long-term profit increase. And yeah, overall, I had to find a balance between making the business profitable while still keeping both customers and employees satisfied. In most cases, there wasn't a perfect decision, but every choice came with some kind of trade-off. This simulation taught me how important it is to understand how different parts of the business work together, and how all parts of the business kind of work hand in hand. I learned that marketing, operations, and staffing are not separate decisions. For example, if demand increases, you also need enough staff and inventory to support it, or else service quality will overall drop. I'll also learn how important financial metrics are for decision making. Instead of focusing only on sales, I started looking at things like profit margins, cash flows, and revenue per employee, like I stated before. For example, I learned that a week with higher sales is not always better if costs increase more than the revenue. Similarly, I learned that efficiency and consistency often matter more than short-term spikes in performance. Overall, I learned that stable data-based decision making leads to better long-term results than frequent large changes. In conclusion, the simulation helped me better understand business strategy, financial analysis, and leadership under changing conditions. It showed me how important it is to use data to guide decisions and balance multiple priorities at the same time. Again, I'm Jacob Jensen, and thank you for listening to my presentation.